Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 12, Book 3, Vigrash the Clawed Eagle. Should be called the Clawed Griffin because that's essentially what she is, and yes, Vigrash is a girl in this book. So like I do with all these Beast Quest reviews, I'm going to go the overall plotting and then give my overall thoughts. Sometimes I do it other way around, where I give my overall thoughts and then do the story, but for this time around I'll just go over the overall story. I will mention before I start though, but I've also been digging some research into Tom's powers set and what he's capable of. I know that most of his powers have been taken away, but it actually I'm glad I did the research because it actually plays a part into one of the plot holes I have with this book. But it doesn't change where I'm going to put it in the series of how I rank, of how where I think how good this book is. Anyway, let's go on with the plot and see how awesome this book turns out to be. Tom and friends arrived in Caonia with an increased speed boost of magic thanks to their friend Daltek. However, there would be consequences for his actions. If he was caught by the circle of wizards, caught by the circle of wizards. But it was all for the good of the kingdoms. Thanks to Daltek's magic, they had arrived at their destination, Queen Remain's castle, where Tom once fought Vespic the Wasp Queen. They noticed the marshlands had grown on the castle. Now they said this was a fault of Kens's beasts, which I disagree. The lightning beasts are their own separate villains. They have a vendetta against Tom, as he's the son of a warrior who imprisoned them long ago, while Kens and Sampaio are a separate threat doing their own scheme, while trying to push the lightning beasts on our hero's path. That's where I'm getting out of this so far. Anyway, Tom decides they meet with the Queen when suddenly a worker was gonna fall, and Tom decides to rescue him. And that little detail of Tom deciding to do something personal that affects him will play a key role later on. So Tom and friends rescue the worker, and the people instantly recognize, and the person instantly recognizes him as the hero who vanquished Vespic, and so does everyone else. They are taken to Queen Remain, and she was in a weaker state. No doubt to the kingdom getting closer to the kingdoms growing close in affecting of her land. They asked if they could have a squadron of soldiers to help battle one of the remaining lightning beasts. She agreed, but advised them to stay and gain rest first. They refused, but she insisted they at least eat some food before setting out. So some food was brought to them, and after eating some, they felt sleepy. Yet you could see where this is going. I suspected this at the moment she insisted on them staying. I bet it's Kensa. Our heroes were taken to special beds and were drugging off. Suddenly, Tom noticed spikes on the ceiling of his bed. He then realized that their food had been drugged. Tom used the powers of his red jewel to call a beast, but the only one closest was Silver. True, he wasn't a beast now, but back in Seraph, in Series 9, Marvel had turned him against them. Now, of course, Silver saves them, but the whole point of that book, to me, was to reverse the spell. So I'm going to say it was more of just a coincidence that Silver rescued him in time. Anyway, Eleanor now needed to be rescued, and once that was succeeded, they faced the Queen for her actions. She explained she was forced into it, as Sampaio's pirates were here and ambushed our heroes. This book so far, despite its nitpick, is having my interest so far right now. Tom and friends fought off the pirates in a pretty engaging battle and soon bounded them all together. Queen Remain explained they had captured her daughter and no doubt they bargained her in return for exchange for Tom and friends. But we know Sampaio wouldn't keep his word. The pirates were taken to the dungeon while Tom revealed he had a magic mirror given to him by King Hugo, which would help him find people. Once an image placed, the quest was set. The Queen Remain said she couldn't really provide them with the soldiers, as Meaton needed all the warriors to help protect the city from ever-closing marshlands, but the Queen did mention she could help them in another way. Tom and friends were brought to a sacred chamber, which contained a wing from Vespic. Remain gave it to them, knowing it could prove useful in Tom's quest. but they had to be careful as this was once from an evil beast. Preparing to head out, they realized the next beast was called Vigrash, and he awaited, and he, I say he, because it turns out she's a she later on, and I was thinking she was a he at the time, but so she's awaiting them in the marshlands. So once again, Storm back, they got Storm back, and they rode for the marshlands, only to be stopped when they heard a man cry out, and from the sounds he made, he assumed he was drowning. Once again, another person in peril, and Tom just has to save his life. This happens a lot apparently in this book. Tom and friends soon found the man and rescued him from the mud using the powers he gained from his connection to from the golden armor. I may have forgotten to mention, but yes, Tom does have the golden armor connection and the red jewel as his remaining abilities. Anyway, they save him and he goes on about a creature, either eagle or lion. Evelyn assumed he was crazy, but Tom reminded her that if it was the beast, they should listen because they don't know what to expect because they don't know what it looks like. Soon enough, Storm was running right at them, and behind was Vigrash, finally meeting Tom and Eleanor face to face. It was revealed, of course, at this moment that Vigrash is a girl, and she wasted no time in attacking the group, hurting Storm in the process. They were about to prepare for this amazing battle. Tom and friends tried to fight Vigrash, ignoring the man they rescued, who was doing nothing but panicking, telling them to give up. Soon Tom got his hands on the lightning tokens and believed he knew the right one to defeat Vigrash. And of course, Vigrash. However, Queen Remain's poison hadn't worn off yet, which was still affecting Tom. This allowed Vigrash to get the jump on Tom and lose lightning token. She was going to drop him up from a great height. Tom tried to get through to her with the power of the red jewel, but he entered Vigrash's thoughts. He saw his father laughing cruelly as Vigrash was sent drowning into her prison. Now this could be an image, as we know. This could be an image, as we know, only of Taladon from the beast's point of view. Otherwise, this needs some serious explaining, because Tom is inside the beast's mind, so he's just seeing Taladon from her point of view. So it could be like that, but it's kind of, if it's not that, it's kind of suspicious, and it does need some explaining later on down the road, which I hope it does. As we expect, though, as you expect, Vigrash is refusing to change her mind, and she released Tom to his death. Without his eagle feather to weaken his fall, he would be killed. Being that was Arc's ability from the shield, and he's lost that power temporarily, I think, from the Circle of Wizards. Yeah, so Tom saved himself using Vespic's wing, and used it as a parachute to glide down safely. He then realized that Vigrash was weakened by mud, or feared it, as it blocked her wings, disabling her flight. As Tom had tried to slice Vigrash with his sword, but only mud got onto her, and that's when Tom discovered this flaw in the beast. This has happened a lot in these quests. It's not just the tokens that helps Tom beat these beasts that Tom encounters, but he actually figures out weaknesses that not many warriors could do. So it shows truly how he deserves the powers and the title of Master of the Beasts. Anyway, Tom explained how he had lost the lightning token, but he knew how to bring Vigrash down by throwing mud balls at her and luring them back to meet him. However, Tom would need some bait, and Eleanor gladly volunteered. Eleanor lured the beast into some position, while Kurt the rat catcher had rescued, and Kurt the rat catcher was the guy they rescued and took Storm and fled back. And when in position, Tom used his golden leg armor to jump on the beast. Okay, now I think they got this backwards, because the golden boots are the item that give Tom the jumping power. The leg armor was to make him run faster. Anyway, once Tom was on Vigrash, Tom released a sack of rats on Vigrash, which nipped at her wings. Yeah, and he got the rats from the rat catcher, by the way. And since Vigrash has taken so much damage from the mud and the rat bites, she crashed into the marsh swamps. Luckily, Tom jumped off just in time, and when our heroes saw the beast sinking, Tom fought back. He fought back to Vigrash's vision of how she met a similar fate, being sunk down into her prison. Tom let his emotions take the better of him, and he convinced his team to help save her from the swamps and of course, they soon did, and Kurt revealed that he had found the lightning token. However, Vigrash hadn't changed. She was still going to kill Tom, and this made Tom lose his lightning token again, and Tom felt like a fool for letting the emotions cloud his judgment. Eleanor shot an arrow quickly while the lightning token had been flung into the air, and kills the beast in a pretty badass way, because she shoots the token and destroys it, and the beast is at close range of it, and it's like a bomb basically, and it blows it up. And with nothing left but her paw prints, Tom sent a final message to Vigrash, hoping she would hear him, as he told her she fought well, and he hoped she would rest in peace now. Tom then explained his vision of Taladon while he saw Vigrash's thoughts, and Eleanor couldn't believe that Taladon would act in such a cruel way. Our heroes had returned to the castle, saying goodbye to Kurt, and sadly informed the Queen they couldn't find her daughter. However, Tom noticed that the locator pearl was glowing, which meant Kensa was nearby. Again, I assumed Queen Remain was all along Kensa in disguise. But no, the pirate ship arrived in Sampaio, and Kensa revealed they had the Princess Esmeralda captive, and took her away, continuing on with their evil plans. Tom told the Queen he would get her daughter back, ending our story. So yeah, that was Vigrash. I think I got through the plot pretty well. Yeah, it's kind of a interesting feeling. It's like, now when it comes to my overall ratings of this book, there are a few like nitpicks that are there. Originally, I was gonna say this was gonna be the best book of Series 12. Yeah, Series 12. But due to those weaknesses that the book has, it does lower it down a bit for me, and puts it on equal terms of Israel's book from the last one. Not the last one. Wait, is it the last one? Because I think whatever Israel what? Oh, this is book 4, and Solak was 1, King was 2. Okay, so this one, yeah, Israel was the one before this, and yeah, and these two ones, Vigrash and Israel, are neck and neck for different reasons though. Israel has like a more suspenseful, tense action stealth to it, while this one has a bit more of sympathy and tension and stuff like that, different elements, but still they are good. And like I said, this one's a bit better, but again, those nitpicks that I had with it are kind of fatal ones that tie it with Israel for its #1 spot on this so far anyway. But yeah, this has been my review on Vigrash, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and join us next time on Beast Quest, where we face Merca, the Ice Horse. Till next time, guys. Peace.